You know the feeling. It's the night before a massive exam. You've been staring at your notes for hours, highlighting every other sentence, rereading the chapters until the words blur together. You go to sleep, certain you've nailed it. Then comes the next morning. You sit down, flip open the test, read the very first question, and there is nothing. A complete void where all that information was supposed to be. Psychologists have a specific term for this phenomenon. It is called the illusion of mastery, or the illusion of competence. It's a failure of metacognition, which is simply our ability to accurately judge what we actually know versus what we don't. Here is why it happens. When you study with a textbook or a search engine open right in front of you, the answers are readily available to your eyes. This physical availability tricks your brain. It misinterprets the ease of recognizing the words on the page as possessing the knowledge inside your head. So all those hours spent passively reading and meticulously color-coding notes fail to build actual, durable long-term memory. They are highly effective, however, at building a false sense of confidence. To understand how to fix this, we have to look at how the brain processes data. New information first enters your working memory. You can think of working memory like a juggler trying to keep items in the air. For most of us, this juggler maxes out at about 4 items before things start crashing down. It is a strictly limited temporary space. The goal of studying is to move those temporary items out of the juggler's hands and into long-term memory. That system operates like a massive, permanent storage warehouse with nearly infinite capacity. But getting the items onto those deep shelves is incredibly difficult. If a memory isn't securely stored, 2 scientific forces immediately begin to dismantle it. The first is decay, where memories simply erode as time passes. The second is interference, where older memories block the retrieval of newer ones, or vice versa, creating confusion when you try to recall a specific fact. Experiencing this decay is completely natural. Forgetting is not a sign of low intelligence. It is actually an evolutionary adaptation. Your brain is aggressively designed to clear out trivial, unused information to keep your cognitive load manageable. Because your brain's default state is to forget, passive reading will never be enough. You have to use deliberate tactics to force that juggler to successfully lock items into the warehouse. The first and most powerful tactic is active retrieval. Instead of repeatedly trying to cram information into your brain by reading it, you practice pulling information out of your brain by testing yourself. Every time you successfully recall a fact without looking at your notes, the neural pathway connecting to that memory physically thickens and strengthens. This line chart illustrates the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve, mapping how rapidly we lose newly learned information over time. Notice the sharp downward dip, but look at what happens when you introduce spaced repetition, reviewing the material at increasing intervals over days and weeks. Each time you test yourself, the retention spikes back to 100%, and the subsequent rate of decay slows down significantly. The third method relies on mnemonics and meaningful association. Your brain struggles to hold on to abstract, dry facts. By taking those new facts and linking them to existing, highly visual, or even absurd mental models, you create a sticky hook that makes the information nearly impossible to lose. Mastering a subject requires abandoning the comfort of passive inputs. You have to commit to the mental effort of spaced, active outputs. Let's apply this blueprint to a real-world scenario. Imagine you are studying for the highly competitive Lok Sewa public service exam. Specifically, you need to memorize the qualifications for the Election Constituent Delimitation Commission as outlined in Nepal's constitution. Under Article 286, a candidate must possess 3 precise qualifications. They need a recognized bachelor's degree, they must be at least 45 years old, and they must have a high moral character. The wrong approach is to stare at those 3 bullet points, highlight them in yellow, and read them 5 times until you feel comfortable. That builds the illusion of competence, guaranteeing you will forget the details under the pressure of the exam. Instead, use meaningful association to build a bizarre mental image that forces all the data points together. Picture a 45-year-old draped in a heavy university graduation gown for the bachelor's degree. Give them a glowing, literal bright halo over their head representing high moral character. Now, visualize them meticulously drawing district borders on a giant map of Nepal. You have your visual hook. Now close the book completely. You must force yourself to actively retrieve that exact strange image of the haloed graduate mapping out districts. Do it 10 minutes from now. Do it tomorrow morning. Do it again next Tuesday. When you try to recall that image on Tuesday, it will probably feel difficult. Your brain will strain to find the details. That friction is exactly what you want. If recalling information feels hard, it means you are successfully constructing a permanent neural bridge in the warehouse. True learning is ultimately measured by what you can output, not the amount of time you spent looking at the input.